Hello and welcome to the Scoria Collective. Thank you so much for your purchase. We are so grateful for your support and for choosing Scoria. My name is Yara. I am the founder and CEO of Scoria World. A little bit about your yoga mat. Our mats are certified non-toxic, so they're made of natural cork, natural tree rubber, and we make sure that they are a safer and healthier alternative for your practice. So other than the synthetics, it's still a very, very great alternative if you want a non-toxic home and safe breathing on your mat. A little bit also about the grip. So it grips amazing with sweat and heat and humidity. So if you're practicing hot yoga and you're sweating a lot, then you will grip just amazing. You don't need a towel for grip. If your hands are cold, you're in a colder environment, a little bit drier, then we do suggest that you find a spray bottle like this around your house, or purchasing just a bottle like that and adding water into it. And you can always reuse it and add water into it. This way you can just have it for hands and feet, and just a little bit of spritz can get the grip going until your hands warm up and you're sweating a little bit. You can also keep it for you during your practice on the side, and it will always give you the support that you need. For me, I do love embracing a little bit of water and cork and embracing the natural elements of it, knowing that it is a healthier and safer alternative for breathing and my household. I want to thank you so much for your purchase, because your purchase actually makes a difference. A portion of proceeds from your purchase goes to Right to Play Canada. It goes to Indigenous youth programs where play is celebrated, healthy living, and education. And so I'm hoping you will love this beginners all-level yoga class. Let's get started. So to start your practice, we're going to come into a comfortable seated position. If you have blocks, you can sit on a block. If you have a cushion, you can sit on your cushion, or a blanket, or you can just sit without anything at all. I'll be sitting on a block, and crossing your legs, maybe bringing both ankles next to each other, and relaxing, rooting through the sit bones into the ground or the cushion or a block. Closing your eyes. We'll do a few breathing exercises to ground us down. As you close your eyes, inhale all the way to the belly, and then exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Now inhale through the nose all the way to the belly, and then exhale through the nose. The goal is to slow down our breath and become conscious of it, so that throughout your practice, you have a common thread, which is your breath. So now inhale to the count of 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. You can do that with your own counts. And as you slowly start slowing down your breath, you can even count to 4 or 5. You can inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Without holding, you can exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. experience this deep breathing, this way of slowing it down. And now coming back to your natural rhythm of your breath, start to scan your body. Scan your feet, your legs, your hips. If there's any tension on your hips, just notice it. Your torso, and then come up to your shoulders. Is there any tension in the shoulders? If you're finding your shoulders tense, maybe start moving them a little bit. You can move them up and down. You can move your torso a little bit. And now notice your face, keeping it at ease. Relaxed. Eyes are relaxed. Now you can slowly open your eyes and come back to the room. Clasp your fingers together and bring your arms all the way forward. Now round your spine, tuck the chin forward. Then inhale, raise the arms high. Now think about the rooting of your sit bone. You want to feel rooted through the ground or whatever you're sitting on. And then you want to feel an expansion, not just from the arms, but you want your expansion to be from your crown of your head. You also want to try to feel your shoulders dropping down, lowered away from the ears. So I have slight tension in my shoulders, so I will be bending a little bit of my arms. So this is totally fine. If you want to bend your arms to feel like your shoulders are dropping down, that is perfectly fine. From here, we're going to take a stretch to the left side and opening up the right side. Feeling a stretch on our side. Inhale, coming back to center, and doing that to the opposite side. As you do this, notice the hips. Try to keep them both rooted to the ground. One hip might be rising, so just gently press it back down. Inhale now, release the arms. Bringing the left palm to the outside of your right leg and your other hand to the back of the room. Taking a deep twist to the back. Inhale, and on your exhale, maybe you can twist a little bit more. Inhale, coming back to center, both arms high now, and then exhale, doing the twist to the opposite side. Try to keep rooted through the sit bones and notice the crown, keeping your spine long, tucking the chin a little bit towards the chest so that your spine is long and your neck is long, and then gently turning the head to the back of the room. Now inhale, raise the arms high again, and exhale, just release them all the way down. When we practice yoga, a lot of times we are in a lot of downward dogs and certain maybe inversion or arm balances, so the wrists can get a little bit sore. So before we start, we'll do multiple vinyasas in this practice. So we want to stretch the wrists and warm them up properly so that we can avoid as much injury in the wrists as possible and feel good the next day. So we're gonna bring both hands forward and keeping your palm facing your chest in the back of the room, taking your left hand to the top of your hand, and then as you exhale, move your fingers towards the back of the room, feeling a stretch all the way here in the forearm. Holding for a few breaths here. And once you're ready, we're going to actually switch it up so your palm is facing the front of the room, the inside of it, and then take a hold of your fingers and start bringing your fingers gently backwards. So you're feeling a stretch in the front area of your palm as well as your forearms again. And now we're going to do this opposite way. So we're opening up the forearms and the finger down to the floor, and then taking a hold of the fingers and opening it up to the opposite side. So we're just kind of moving them in all kinds of ways, and now we're going to take a circular motion of the wrist and just circle it as to one direction and then another direction. And then just shake it out, and let's do the other hand. You're gonna bring the palm first like this, facing the inside of the palm facing the back of the room. And then just gently press the top of the hand, holding for a few breaths. Then once you're ready, we're gonna face the fingers up towards the ceiling and just gently moving them backwards towards the forearm. And now we're going to twist a little bit like this and bring the fingers downwards towards the floor, and then again pressing the fingers gently towards the forearm again. And once you're ready here, we're gonna take a few circles in one direction, then a few circles to the other direction, and then shake it out. So now you're feeling your wrists fire up a little bit, and once we're ready, we're gonna come into a tabletop position, taking off your cushion or your block underneath you, and then coming into a tabletop position. Here your hands are directly under your shoulders. They're shoulder width apart. Your knees are directly under your hips. You're gonna take a deep breath in and then exhale. And then once you're ready, we're going to take cat and cow. We do this by looking up, dropping the belly, tailbone high to the sky, arch the spine. And then on the exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest. Tuck the belly in. And then again, inhale, drop the belly and look up, tailbone high. Then exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin in towards your chest, and press the mat away from you. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine. And you can do this with your own rhythm of your breath. Once you're ready, coming back to neutral spine, neutral position. And then now what you can do is you can take a few circles, hip circles. You can round the spine and then arch it. So you're taking also circles with your spine and with your hips. Moving into another direction. Here you want to move however it feels good, and just opening up the spine and the body. Once you're ready, we're going to come back into a neutral position here. And then inhale, raise the right arm high. And then raise the left leg high. And then once you're ready, exhale, knee to elbow. Then inhale, extend again. Again, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend again. Here you can stay here, or if you want, you can take a hold of your ankle by bending at the knee, and then taking a hold of the ankle, opening up the chest. Maybe you can press a little bit with your foot to your hand. Maybe you can look to the right. When you're ready, exhale and drop it back into neutral spine tabletop. Taking it onto the other side. Inhale, raise the left arm high. And then your right leg. Flexing the toes. On your exhale, round the spine, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Again, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. From here, you can bend the knee if you want and if it's accessible. Take a hold of the ankle and then press it up. Try to keep your hips in the middle and balanced. Then exhale, release, and bring it all back down. From here, we're going to sit on our toes, so keep the toes flexed. And then sitting on them here, we're just gonna warm up a little bit of our toes and our feet. Closing the eyes and taking 3 deep breaths. If at any point you feel any pain, just get out of the posture, relax, and you can get into a seated position or a child's pose. This will stretch the backs of the feet and it will feel really good there. If you cannot access this posture, you can put a blanket underneath your sit bones or even a block. From here, we're going to point the toes and bring the top of the feet onto the mat and then sitting back onto them. Again, if this isn't accessible, you can stay up here and just stay like this, or you can bring a block and just even bring it in the middle as you sit on it, on the sit bones here. It won't give you too much pressure on the feet. So staying here again for a few deep breaths. And then feel free to warm up the hands here. Or if you really want to, I like to spritz my mat before getting into downward dog. And then once you're ready, bring the palms and the arms right underneath the shoulders and the feet all the way back. And exhale, lift the hips high and exhale into downward facing dog. Feel free to bend the knees, keeping the hips high. Spread all the fingers. Feel free to also use a little bit of the knuckles and the inside of the palm to grip deeper. From here, we want to keep this in mind, trying to keep the chest closer to the thighs. So as we press the chest closer to the thighs and the heels closer to the floor. They don't have to touch the floor, but we want to aim to keep the motion downwards on the heels. And the hips high and the chest towards the thighs. And when you press through the elbows and the arms, we want to keep the arms straight and press downwards. When you're ready, inhale and bring the hips forward into a plank posture. Press through the palms and the shoulders. So as you round the shoulders, now we're gonna bring the knees down, tuck the toes, bend at the elbows, bring the chin down, and the chest, and then slide forward into a small mini cobra. Here you can bring the palms right next to your chest. Inhale and just use the back muscles to bring the chest up. Press through the toes. And then exhale, release, tuck the toes in, and press yourself all the way to downward facing dog. From here, look forward and step or hop to the front of the mat into a forward fold. Here, it's the first forward fold of this practice, so bend at the knees and try to keep the chest or the belly closer to the thighs as you bend the knees. Relax the neck, relax the head. You can shake it yes, you can shake it no. And inhale, halfway up. This way we're going to look forward. And then exhale, again, forward fold. When you're ready, root through the feet, bend at the knees, inhale, rise up, bringing the palms together. And then exhale, bring the palms to the heart center. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your feet. You can wiggle your toes, go back and forth. Just feel the grounding and the rooting through the feet as you're in a standing posture. Inhale, raise the arms high again. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the palms towards the floor, bend at the left leg, and bring the right leg backwards. You can adjust the front leg here so that your knee and heel are in alignment. But we're gonna drop the back knee down and get into a low lunge. And tuck the toes backwards. And now raise the chest high. Inhale, deep exhale. Inhale, bring the arms high, palms towards the chest, and then onto the ground. Tuck the back toes, lift up, bring the left leg to meet the right into a plank. And as you exhale, bend at the elbows and bring the chest down. Here you can also put the knees onto the floor and bend at the elbows. As you inhale, coming into cobra or an upward facing dog where you plant your feet and press yourself up, chest high, shoulders back, away from the ears, looking forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Again, look forward. You can step or hop to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. You can spread the feet hip width apart. Root through the ground, bend at the knees. Inhale, raise the arms high. Palms together and then palms at heart center. When you're ready again, inhale, arms high. Exhale, dive forward into forward fold. This time we're gonna root through the right foot, bring the left leg back into a low lunge. Again, feel free to adjust the front leg, bringing the knee and heel on top of each other. We don't want the knee to go very past, so just keeping it above the heel. And then inhale, arms high. Exhale, palms down. Tuck the back toes. And then bring the knee high, coming into a plank. Exhale again, chaturanga. This time you can drop the knees or you can stay high. If you're staying high here to chaturanga, bend through the elbows. And then inhale, tuck the toes, Press through the mat, shoulders away from the ears, upward facing dog. Exhale, back into a downward facing dog. We're gonna drop down and take a child's pose here. If this is too much for you, this is a posture you can come back to, a child's pose. To come into a child's pose, you can bring both toes together, knees wide apart, and as you exhale, bringing the belly to the ground, forward, forehead to the ground, and then arms forward. If your forehead isn't touching the ground, you can use a block to bring the forehead closer to you. Sorry, the ground closer to you. Or if you do not have any blocks, you can bring two fists together and come into child's pose. So at any time the practice feels heavy, come back to this posture and take it gently. So from child's pose, we're gonna come back up. And then again, tuck the back toes and come into a downward facing dog. From here, we're going to walk all the way up to the front of the mat. Exhale, bend at the knees. Bring both palms together to heart center. Inhale, rise up. From here, we're going to bring toes together and heels slightly apart. Feel free to also just keep the feet hip-width apart. And then sit down into a chair, bring the arms high, coming into a chair pose. No one likes this, this asana and this posture, but it does build up great strength and heat. Look towards your toes, make sure you can see your toes and that your knees are not going past them. Bring the palms together to heart center. Sit down even more if you can. And then on your exhale, bring the right elbow to the left thigh. Press towards each other, press them together. And then look toward the left side, opening up the chest and twisting. Now the right knee might start coming forward, so you want to make sure to bring the right knee in alignment with the left knee, so they're both together. Holding for a few breaths. And then inhale, coming back into center. Palms together again to heart center. Keeping your chair pose. If you want to relax, you can get out of it, but stay in there. And then bring the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Pressing the palms together, twisting to the right. Again, knees in together, so the left knee, bring it back to meet the right. Feel how your legs are on fire, but try to bring ease to this as you focus on your breath. And on your exhale, let it go. Release in a forward fold. And now root through the feet, bend at the knees, inhale, rise high. On your exhale, again, fold forward. And now we're gonna bring the right leg back. This time we're gonna keep it high on a high lunge. And inhale, raise the arms high. Now we're in a high lunge. In a high lunge, we're focusing on keeping the back leg straight. Feel free to come down to your knees if this feels more accessible for you. So in a high lunge, we're focusing on going on the ball of the foot from the back, which is where the toes are, and then having the knee directly above the ankle or not extending too far. Inhale, arms high. On your exhale, we're going to come to warrior two. This means both heels are going to come into a straight line together, opening up the back foot to this long edge of the mat. You can also, if you have a line in the middle of your mat, you can bring the heels where that line is so that you can align yourself in one long center line. From here, opening up and extending your arms and looking forward to the front of the room. Take a few deep breaths. Holding strong, bending in the front leg. Opening up as if you're in between two walls. And then on the inhale, we're gonna straighten out the front leg. Windmill the arms backwards, getting a little nice side stretch. Exhale back into a warrior two. And now windmill the arms to the front and coming into a plank. Here you can bring the knees down or keeping them up into plank. And chaturanga, bend at the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few big breaths here. At any time again, you can come back to a child's pose. From here, look forward and walk towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Root down and rise through the arms. Palms together. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. And as we exhale, we're gonna bring the palms to the mat. Maybe we can bend the knees to get them closer. We always have blocks as well. From here, we're gonna go into the opposite leg, into a lunge. So the left leg back. We're gonna make sure we're strong on the feet, in our foundation. And then inhale, bring the chest high. We're gonna try to use the core here, keep it engaged. And then inhale, arms high. Back leg is as straight as you can. If this is inaccessible, bring your knee down to the floor. You can also just be here with your blocks. I didn't offer this variation on the other side, but if that is helpful, you can also just be on your blocks and just explore in the foundation of your legs here. So once we're up here, we're going to open up into a warrior two. We want to align both heels together in one straight line, bending at the front knee. You can also give yourself more space if you want to bend more. And then look forward towards that middle finger. Few breaths. Sometimes your knee wants to stay inside, so just make sure you're opening it up and keeping it in line in the middle. On the inhale, straighten that front leg and bring the arms backwards for a gentle stretch. Then exhale, coming into a warrior two again, and then windmill the arms to the front of the mat. This time we're gonna bring the left leg to meet the right. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale to rise. I'm gonna come into the middle of the mat, but you can stay at the front of your mat for this one. So we're up here, we're going to exhale, dive forward, forward fold, bend at the knees, and we're gonna start opening up our legs to a hip width position, and then even more than a hip width position. Both feet will face 45 degrees. And then we're gonna just sit down into a deep squat, malasana. For me, we're gonna try to keep the chest high. If you feel like this is too much for you, a block or a cushion can help by sitting on it. And this way you are sitting in a malasana. You're focusing on opening up the inner hips and the chest high. You can do this every day and it will open up a lot of the hips and hip mobility here. This is a great practice to do every day, or you can stay in Malasana here for now. Just taking a few deep breaths here. And then when you exhale, we're going to bring the palms down and forward fold. So you'll be at the top of your mat, so forward fold. And then on the inhale, rise up halfway. And then exhale, forward fold. Bring your legs back into a vinyasa, or you can meet us in downward dog. So chaturanga, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. From here now, walk your hands all the way to your feet. And then exhale to rise. You'll be at the back of your mat, so you can step forward to the front of your mat. Or I will be in the middle of the mat just for display reasons, but you can be in the front of your mat. And we're gonna come into this mountain pose. Mountain pose is just a standing posture where we're gonna scan the body, close the eyes first, feel everything on our feet, feel the rooting down through the foot. You'll feel the core and the pelvis tucked in, shoulders away from the ears. Now you can open your eyes. Once you feel very rooted into your posture, we're going to take the right foot and take a hold of either the ankle, or you can just put the foot below the knee, or take a hold of the ankle and put it above the knee. So if you're here, wherever you're at, focus on one point that isn't moving, bringing your hands in together to heart center, and focus on a drishti, a point that isn't moving in front of you, giving you some peace and calm through this balancing posture. If you feel very balanced, feel free to bring your arms up, extending them, moving them, or feel free to challenge yourself by closing your eyes. If you fall out of this, that's okay. Just come back and try again. Now from here, we're going to bring the palms back to center if the arms are up. And then bring the knee in. And on your exhale, we're gonna shoot back that leg and tilt our chest towards the floor. But we're gonna keep everything parallel to the floor. And then you can bring your arms backwards as well, as if you're floating in an airplane. This is warrior 3. Flexing the foot, the back foot as well. You might find more balance by bending the front leg and using the leg muscles to fire up. And now coming back from here, we're going to bring the knee into the chest, clasping the hand on the shin, and just taking a hold of it, feeling the fire on the rooted leg. Then exhale, release, shake it off. And then we will be doing this onto the other side now. So you can root down through the feet. Now we're gonna bend at the left leg and take a hold of the ankle and placing the foot right above the knee or below the knee, but never on the knee, so avoid the knee. Once we're here, you're going to bring your hands to the hips or to heart center, focusing on a point that isn't moving. Focus on the breath. Inhale deeply and then exhale. Again, feel free to do whatever you feel that is right for you here. Now when you're ready, bring the knee inwards. Do not release that leg yet. Then we're gonna bring that leg backwards, floating into Warrior 3. So I'm going to just switch my positioning so that you can see if you need to see. That leg is gonna go backwards, straight and parallel to the floor, flexing the right foot. Flexing the left foot. And then you can maybe even bend at the standing leg. Or bring the arms backwards. Try to keep the hips leveled, so we don't want to sway the left hip anywhere, but leveled with the right. And then as you exhale, bring the knee into the chest. Do not release it yet. Clasp the fingers onto the shin and just hold. Feeling the fire on the rooted leg, and then exhale, release. Once you're ready, you'll be in the front of the mat. So we're gonna inhale, raise the arms high, and taking a vinyasa. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, palms to the mat, come back into a plank, or bring the knees onto the floor, whatever feels best for you. Bend at the elbows, chest to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog, feet rooted, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a few deep breaths here. Now once you're ready, feel free to roll the spine forward or just come into a plank again. But from here, what you can do to roll forward is you can bend the knees slightly and then roll your spine. You can take a few shapes with your spine just to move it. Or you can just roll forward to plank. And then from here, we're gonna bring the knees down and come onto the belly. You can keep your palms next to the chest. Feet onto the ground, the tops of the feet. Forehead onto the ground, or you can actually use one of your cheeks. And once you're ready, we're gonna come back to center with the forehead onto the ground. Arms backwards, extended. And then lift through the chest, and only through the chest. So you can feel your back muscles engaging. Then exhale, release. This time, clasp your hands together. And then again, rise through the chest. Try to feel your legs onto the mat, your feet on the ground. You're just opening up through the chest. Even you can engage the glutes. Then exhale, release the forehead back. Maybe you can go to the other chest, other cheek. And now when you're ready, coming back up with the hands clasped. Bringing the shoulder blades together, chest up. Now this time we're going to raise the feet high and as much as we can, the entire leg up. You're gonna feel the thigh or the pelvis onto the ground. You're gonna press through that and engage the glutes, engage the back muscles, and lift high. Exhale, release onto your cheeks. Bring both palms towards your chest. And then on your exhale, we're going to press back into tabletop. From tabletop, we're going to bring our knees in so that they're right under our hips. So knees directly under the hips. and they're hip width apart. So bring your hands towards the back, the lower back, and facing your palm as much as you can to the ceiling upwards. From here, you will find that your elbows are outward facing. So we're going to bring the elbows in towards each other. So bring the elbows in towards each other. And looking forward, keeping the neck elongated. From here, you might feel that this maybe is a good stretch for you. It's great for your shoulders. It feels good. If you want it a little bit deeper, you can now start bringing your chest up towards the ceiling, but you want to keep your hips and pelvis in alignment with your knees. So we don't want to go this way. We want to keep everything in alignment forward and pretend that there is a string pulling your chest up towards the ceiling and backwards. So once you're here in camel pose, if you want to take it further, you may take a hold of your ankles, but making sure to keep your hips again in line with your knees. And hold here, or if you want to come back to a middle position, feel free to do that. Once you're ready to come out, bring your hands towards the lower back, supporting your back, using your core, coming up into the straight line. From here, we're going to take a child's pose to counteract the stretch that we just did. So toes together, knees apart. Exhale, forehead to the ground. Taking a few deep breaths. And once you're ready, we're going to come onto our backs. And laying all the way back. From here, clasp your fingers onto your shin, to the right shin. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Root through the left foot. So feel the left ankle onto the ground and press that downwards. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the knee forward and bring it closer towards your chest. You're going to find that there's more space with your exhale. Also, you can feel your shoulders and relaxing them downwards and away from the ear and into the floor. Sometimes we tend to shrug and pull ourselves in towards the knee, but for this, we really want to relax fully in our torso. And when you're ready, switching legs, we're going to bring the right leg, extending it, and bring the left knee in towards the chest. And press through the extended right leg. Again, check the shoulders, relaxing those away from the ear and into the floor. On your exhale, maybe you can get a little bit deeper. Maybe you can bring your knee a little closer. Keep the foot flexed also towards the ceiling or towards the back of the room. And finding ease and peace here. And then once you're ready, bring the right knee to meet the left. This way we're now clasping our fingers on both shins. Both knees are now in towards the chest. And you can take hip circles, massaging the lower back, feeling a release here. You can now take circles in different directions, or just sway side to side, massaging the lower back however you feel is good for you. Once you're ready, bring your both feet to the mat, hip width apart. From here, we're going to take our arms into a T shape. Now we're going to press the right hip up, shift it to the right, and then bring the knees in and let it fall to the left side. Coming into a twist here. To take this further, you can bring the left palm to the right leg, and you can also shift your gaze to the right. Then try to bring the right shoulder towards the floor. Go as far as feels good for you. Any pain that you feel should not be there, so back out of a posture if you feel like it's causing you pain. You're looking for that feel-good stretch, one that you can breathe into and expand. Once you're ready, we're going to come back into center. Bring the feet back into the floor. Press your hips up, shift them to the left side, and drop the knees all the way to the right. Extending that left arm. And you can take the right hand to the left leg. And your gaze can shift to the left. So that you feel a stretch in your back. And now you can bring yourself back into center. Feet onto the ground. From here, you can come into a full resting pose like Shavasana and extend your legs and just relax. We will come to this posture soon as well. Or you can take this variation of bringing your legs up towards the ceiling. So there's a few things we can do here to bring the legs up toward the ceiling. You can take a block right under the sit bones onto the lower back, and then bring the legs high. Here you want to relax the legs so you can keep a bend in the knees. I suggest that you flex the toes towards your head or your face. This will be really good for the blood circulation, so that we usually do not do this posture much during the day. We're standing on our feet a lot, on our legs. This way we're reversing the blood circulation, and it will feel really good. If you want to go a little deeper, you can stay here, or you can go deeper by coming into a shoulder stand. From here, this means you can bring your palms to the lower back, elbows in towards each other, and legs up high. Do not move your neck left or right, just keeping it forward. And then once we're ready, wherever you are, release this posture and come into a Shavasana, the resting pose. You don't want to skip Shavasana. This is a great posture to give yourself gratitude and love, and to honor that you showed up for your body, for your mind. Find full relaxation here, letting your feet drop to both sides, your fingers relaxed, your chin slightly tucked so that your neck is long, relaxing your shoulders, letting gravity pull them towards the floor, dropping your tongue from the top of your mouth and from the roof of your mouth. And as you inhale, give your body all the love that it needs. Any places of tension that you've experienced on the mat, letting those go with your exhale. Fill your body with peace with every inhale. Getting really grateful for this moment. There's nowhere else you need to be except for here. It is recommended that you stay in Shavasana for at least 5 minutes after your practice to reset the body and release all the tension and anywhere you've done this practice. So feel free to stay here as long as you need. Thank you for joining me on this practice. Namaste.